if you're a winner. The Morning Mix Mug Club, enter to win today.
Live from Augusta, you're watching News 12 live at 5.
A multi-year drug bust in Augusta taking all of this off the streets of Augusta. Over the past 2 years, the sheriff's office has been quietly working on Operation No Loyalty, a multi-phase effort to take dangerous drugs off of our streets. Nearly 60 people now face charges this evening, and more could be on the way for us. Hallie Turner is live in our newsroom. And Hallie, out of everything law enforcement found, there's something that stands out that's more concerning here.
Yeah, well, just to put things into perspective, the 7 kilograms of fentanyl seized from the Augusta streets weighs about 15 pounds. It only takes about as much as a few grains of salt to be lethal. But what deputies just took off of our streets is enough to kill 3.5 million people. That's more than the city of Atlanta, Augusta, and Columbus, Georgia combined. In 2 years, Operation No Loyalty executed 41 search warrants between 9 vehicles and 2 homes. Together with the FBI, GBI, Drug Task Force, Georgia State Patrol, and other agencies, Richmond County was able to uncover a mass amount of drugs. They have collected 35 pounds of cocaine, 15 pounds of fentanyl, 1 pound of meth, 277 pounds of weed, more than $400,000, and 62 guns. Chief Clayton says they've arrested more than 50 people who are part of a gang called Trap Money. Clayton says this gang is what they call a hybrid gang. They have national ties and affiliation to the Blood Gang, Inglewood Family Gang, Sex Money Murder Gang, and 59 Rim Bloods Gang. These gangs are known to have outlets all over the United States, and even with more than 50 people behind bars, he says the takedown is far from over.
Besides just dealing drugs, these are guys that are involved in homicides, they're involved in aggravated assaults with guns, they're involved with other violent crime and other property crime like stealing guns and financial fraud and things like this that we're investigating.
Now, with a gang this big, officials say they can't get everyone all at once, and just going for the ringleader doesn't stop the problem or bring crime in our streets down. But coming up all new tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we're learning the next steps in this operation.
All right, thanks, Hallie, and we will, of course, be continuing to follow this as this case moves along.
Well, it was a very cold start to the work week. 39 degrees officially at Bushfield. That actually will go down as the coldest low we have seen since April 12th, believe it or not. You have to go all the way back to mid-April before we did see temperatures in the 30s here locally. So it was a cold start, but Bushfield wasn't even the coldest spot early this morning. Take a look at this. The Sumter Forest up in McCormick County got all the way down to 34. Wild Oaks Farm in Lincoln County got down to 36. SRS 37. Same thing in Saluda. And a few different spots in Aiken County actually did get down to 38. So cold, and it doesn't look like we're going to be that cold for tonight. So actually bumping up those low temps back into the 40s as we head to early tomorrow morning. Blue skies overhead, a beautiful afternoon across the area. We're at 73 degrees right now in Aiken, and most spots across the region have stayed several degrees below 80. So another afternoon that is well below average for us, and these temperatures will cool off quickly once that sun goes down. So 70s at the moment, will cool off into the mid-60s by around 7 o'clock, and then we should be able to hit the 50s already by around 9 p.m. And then overnight tonight, those low temperatures will bottom out to the 40s for us. Dry at the moment, but we are tracking better rain chances late into the week. We'll have more on that in the full forecast. Let's get a quick update on your First Alert traffic.
And now, First Alert traffic.
All right, here's a live look at I-20 and Riverwatch Parkway just outside of our building. Not much traffic issues at the moment. It looks like all that traffic is moving smoothly at the moment. Looking at exit 190 here in Grovetown, Lewiston Road. Busy, but not too unusual for this time of day, and doesn't even look like the traffic's too bad backing up off the exit. Now, we have a lot of sunshine out there this afternoon, but rain chances looking much better later into the week. We'll have that full forecast in just about 10 minutes.
All right, thanks, Riley. A new dash cam video showing the moments deputies in Beaufort County pulled up to a plane that landed in the middle of a highway. This happening back in August, but for the first time, video has been released detailing what happened here. 2 teens, just 18 and 19 years old, were piloting the plane when they were forced to make an emergency landing after the engine failed. Miraculously, they both survived with no injuries, and you can see them speaking to deputies here in the video. The official cause of the crash is still being investigated by the FAA. Well, an important message tonight for the millions plus South Carolinians enrolled in Medicaid. The state's Department of Health and Human Services is urging them to complete the review forms when they get them or risk losing coverage, even if they're still eligible. Our State House reporter Mary Green has the details.
States restarted their annual reviews to determine Medicaid eligibility as early as this April, after a multi-year pause on these reviews during the pandemic came to an end. South Carolina is currently about halfway through this year-long process.
We prioritize people in the first couple of months of this process who were most likely no longer eligible. So a lot of the folks who have been disenrolled, I think thus far, are folks who are no longer eligible for that coverage.
South Carolina's Department of Health and Human Services, which oversees the state Medicaid program, estimates Medicaid enrollment will drop from about 1.3 million South Carolinians to just over a million, where it was before the pandemic, by next spring. It says many of these people have likely aged out of coverage for which they were previously eligible as children, but federal law prohibited them from being disenrolled during the COVID public health emergency. State data shows this restarted review has already begun for more than 500,000 South Carolinians. Of them, 144,000 have been disenrolled, and for more than 100,000 in that group, it was because they didn't return their review form. But that number could drop. DHHS says there's a 90-day grace period after coverage expires where services can still be paid by Medicaid if they return their review form. So they urge people to get that done.
It's really important, especially for parents. Children are eligible at a much higher income level than parents are. So just because you're a parent that may no longer be eligible, your children still may be.
And Medicaid members can return their review forms online or via mail, fax, or dropping it off at their local eligibility office. Reporting from the State House, I'm Mary Green.
And the Department of Health and Human Services has just put out a series of videos that walk members through how to submit their annual review and update their information. Those are available right now on their website. Well, no matter their ability, one basketball team is hitting the court with everything they've got. Just ahead, how one of South Carolina's only wheelchair basketball teams is feeling about the season ahead. Riley?
Well, we are looking at another chilly night down into the 40s, but temperatures warming up the rest of the week, and also rain chances going up as well. We'll have that forecast just after the break.
Time and temp. First a sample and Cody Webb will perform. For tickets and details, scan the QR code or visit our website.
Welcome back. A live look down the Thurman Dam. A beautiful afternoon over Clarks Hill Lake. We have generally sunny skies and temperatures remaining several degrees below average again this afternoon. We're up to 74 so far here in Augusta. We got a good steady southwest wind at about 10 miles an hour, but still very dry air in place. So expecting another cool night. We'll stay away from the 30s like what we saw this morning, but still cool nonetheless down to the 40s. Other spots across the region, we're at 73 in Edgefield, 75 in Thompson, same thing in Barnwell, 74 down there in Millen, and 77 warmer spots in Swainsboro and Sylvania. Now for the rest of this evening, we'll hang on to 70s at least the next hour or so, but temperatures will drop quickly into the 50s once we get an hour or two past sunset. And then overnight tonight, we are expecting another cool start down into the 40s. So I think a couple of school systems may be on fall break, but for other students heading out to that bus stop early tomorrow morning, it is going to be a cool start, upper 40s, and then later tomorrow afternoon, we should actually be warmer than what we've been. Most likely high temp near 80 degrees out there tomorrow afternoon. Now, rain chances looking pretty slim Tuesday, but they will start to increase as we head later into the weeks. Right now, we're really highlighting Wednesday night into Thursday, Friday, and then rain chances do drop off again as we head into the weekend outlook. Here's a current look at our radar network. So at the moment, we have high pressure still in control. That's bringing us nice clear skies, dry air. Towards our south and west, though, we actually have a weird little setup happening later into the week. So we have, at the moment, Tropical Storm Lydia. This is actually in the eastern Pacific. This is going to be moving towards the northeast and actually crossing over Mexico and then interacting with this cold front north of us to bring us fairly decent rain chances later into the week. So here's the way it's shaping up. This is jumping ahead to Tuesday afternoon. You can still see for us here in the CS area we're dry, but we're starting to see some of this upper level cloud cover move in from these systems. We'll see an area of low pressure in the Gulf of Mexico just merge with Lydia, and they'll be picked up by this cold front front that is going to push this system towards the east as we head into late Wednesday and throughout the day Thursday and Friday. So this is jumping ahead to Wednesday night. That's when our rain chances do start to increase. I would say before sunset Wednesday, there's not much rain in our outlook. It's really kind of late Wednesday night throughout the day. Thursday is looking very wet across the region, and this system will continue to move out as we head to Friday. Now, the eventual path of that low pressure system will determine how much rain we see. The GFS model wants to bring that system a little bit further north, which brings us higher rain totals anywhere from 1 to 2 inches, possibly more than 2 inches. The European model wants to keep that area of low pressure towards our south and really create a sharp cutoff of rain totals to where the northern CS rate for the rest of the week sees less than a half of an inch. So make sure you are keeping it here for those updates over the next couple of days as we fine-tune where the path of that eventual system will take. Tuesday, cool start, warm finish. We'll see those highs back into the low 80s tomorrow afternoon. Generally cloudy skies throughout the day Wednesday. Remember, dry weather until we get to Wednesday night, and then those temperatures should stay in the 70s for high temps later Wednesday afternoon. Morning temperatures definitely going to be warming up as we bring in all that cloud cover. Once it cool off much, so our low temps will be closer to 60 Wednesday all the way through early this weekend. Here's a full look at that 7-day forecast. High rain chances between Thursday and Friday. Luckily, most of that rain does clear out by the weekend.
All right, thanks, Riley. The Coastal Chairman basketball team is off to a great start this season, but for many, it's more than just winning. It's about finding people who understand what you're going through. Tegan Brown shows us how.
Being in a wheelchair isn't a disability for this team when it comes to being passionate. Anthony Brooks has been playing wheelchair basketball since he was 5 years old, but it's his first year with the Coastal Chairman.
Good job, boys. Yeah. I just love to be competitive and just really stay active.
But it's about more than just exercise for Anthony. It's about proving adaptive sports are real sports.
Don't reach, don't reach, don't reach. Shots up. Good defense. Good defense. Block that. It means everything because, people with disabilities, we don't really get a lot in the outside world, so to have this, it's real special to us, you know what I mean?
One of Anthony's biggest motivators out on the court is his coach and teammate, Jesse Lind.
You know what? He nailed it. He nailed it. We're looking a little too relaxed out there. Yes, this game ain't ours, y'all.
Jesse spearheads a team that's all about positivity, but he also knows he has to push them to be better.
I feel like, encouragement is always better than negativity. So, we always try to gas each other up because mistakes will happen. But, it's how you react to adversity is what defines you, you know what I mean?
Teamwork is the biggest key to success for any season. But just like any other sport, they have to hold each other accountable.
What's the point of having communication if we're not going to listen? Jose, I want you back in. All right? Come on.
But it's all out of love for each other.
It's real fun, we all just try to be positive, even though sometimes it gets heated. We just try to stay level-headed and just hype each other up and not be down.
Even with a lot of talent on their team, the competition in this league is tough.
You got Kobe Bryant out here, bro. Kobe in a wheelchair, dog.
But seeing their fans this weekend and the rest of the season will push them to bring home that
2, 3, champion! Let's go! The disabled community doesn't really get a lot of recognition, so to have all these people come out here, it's special to us,
And the Coastal Chairmen have made it to the championship the last 4 years in a row, but they have not won yet. Hopefully they can make it all the way this year. Sounds like a lot of fun out there. Well, African-American families share their years-long fight protecting the lands where their loved ones are buried. Next, the challenge is to keeping the land undisturbed.
One who is looking at your accounts to maximize your earnings or to protect your money.
African-American cemeteries across the nation face dangers of being erased, desecrated, or built over. It's a problem families tell us they've endured for decades. Our national investigative reporter, Carice Jackman, explores the complex issues of protecting sacred ground.
When you walk into the Oak Brook Baptist Church in Thoroughfare, Virginia, it's like going back in time.
Our church was established in 1865. It was originally called Little Zion Church.
African-American history, visible throughout the sanctuary. Frank Washington's indigenous and African roots both run through this town.
my family's connection with this town is probably deeper than most people in this area because we go back generations and we can prove our generational attachment to the county itself.
Part of his generational attachment lies here at the Fletcher Allen Cemetery. Some of them have their headstones marked, others are marked by just stones, a common practice when enslaved Africans buried their family members. Names not written, but clear signs their lives existed.
These are usually the only identifying markers you would have for graves in, from that time frame. Is either something like this or a smaller stone like that.
Not far down the road, Washington says another group in the Scott Cemetery. Washington says the Scott Cemetery now sits beneath land owned by a brewery.
It's a cemetery that is documented. It's not some obscure thing that came about out of the blue. It's something that is established within the county records itself.
Washington's now in a legal battle with the brewery and the county's board of supervisors, but the brewery isn't backing down. The owner responded to our request for comment, saying in a statement that Washington's allegations are completely without merit and says the, quote, speculative grave site underwent 2 extensive archaeological studies by professional firms, adding that Mr. Washington just can't accept the science, which revealed no presence of burial remains. Washington, who grew up in Thoroughfare his entire life, continues to argue the graves are documented, as illustrated in this historic research.
We're being devalued as a family. We're being devalued as a race. We're saying that, well, you're not important. Your grave site's not important. Your history is not important.
The complicated web of tracking black cemeteries is as complex as American history itself. Following the end of slavery, many African American families continue to face restrictions on where they can bury their ancestors. Across much of the U.S., local law segregated burial sites by race. African American burial grounds often fail to receive the same type of maintenance and record keeping that predominantly white burial grounds enjoyed. Fast forward over a century later, and the country's dark past makes discovering black burial sites a challenge state and local governments face to this day.
You can't preserve something unless you know where it is and what it is in most cases. When it comes to protecting those who have gone before us, it's important for us to understand where those are so that we can understand how to protect them.
Sarah Bronin also believes funding for sites and burial grounds is a necessity that is long overdue.
Federal agencies have not been blameless in the treatment of burial sites.
This is my great Aunt Betty, and she used to sit right here in this pew every Sunday.
As for Frank, he refuses to give up his fight. He says he won't rest until his community recognizes his family.
Regardless of what they've done, it's not going to change my belief in myself. It's not going to change the fact that I value who I am. It's not going to change the fact that I value those bodies lying in that grave. Whether I know their last names or not, I know they existed. I'm proof that they existed.
Carice Jackman on your side.
And our team wants to hear from you. And are you having a similar fight? The National Investigative Team is conducting a survey. And to submit your story, please visit investigatetv.com and look for Sacred Ground. Riley?
Well, low temperature this morning, officially 39 degrees. Just got the climate report in from the National Weather Service, and we're only 5 degrees away from a record low temperature this morning. Now look at our 7-day forecast just after the break.
Don't ignore foundation repair.
All right, welcome back, folks. Take a look at our fall color tracker up in the upstate in North Georgia. This is our UNG Dahlonega cam. You can still see it's pretty green there just north of Lake Lanier. Looking at our Greenville ETV camera, you can see maybe a little color change on some of those treetops, but looking at just beautiful conditions across the two-state out there this afternoon. Here's a live look down the Savannah River from our Thurman Dam cam. You can see we have sunny skies here as well. Temperatures in the mid-70s. We'll stay in the 70s the next hour or so, but temperatures will cool off pretty quickly again as we head past sunset. Most likely hitting the 50s by around 8, 9 o'clock later tonight, and then overnight lows should be able to drop down at least into the upper 40s by daybreak tomorrow. So it is going to be a cool start to the day. If you are lucky enough to have a tea time tomorrow, we got a cool start near 50 at 7 a.m., but then afternoon highs will be a little bit warmer than what we've seen the past few days, upper 70s to low 80s, so a comfortable into our Tuesday afternoon. We will notice more clouds moving in, though, and that cloud cover will be a sign of rain rain moving in late Wednesday through Friday.
All right, thanks, Riley. Stick with us. We have more news, weather, and sports coming up after a short break as News 12 Live at 5 continues.